Okay, so that was Hungarian goulash, and we've heard that a bunch of times. I'm sure if you've been following Eric Faulkner. Bella says hello. Over the years. Now, this video is about the new album, Faulkner by Eric Faulkner. And that song is indeed included in it, and I'm so happy that it is. It's such a great track. Are you trying to? She's trying to speak into the microphone. Now, I have to say, the last video that I made regarding the fact that this album came out, I was kind of surprised, and it came out in that very quickly, and I did a quick announcement. And a lot of my stuff, when I do these announcements, it's for people that are only on YouTube, because I know that people stay away from Facebook and stuff like that. And there are very good reasons to. If you look back at some of my posts, you'll be like, whoa, maybe I should. And I do not actually encourage Facebook for anyone. But we do have to get the information out there beyond Facebook, I think, for people that are not there, right? So there is this new album of music. Now, as I had said before, in a previous video, we had done a radio show kind of saying that Eric Faulkner is one of the greatest Britpop songwriters and performers of all time, and people don't know this. It's like this little hidden gem of a secret, right? Because if you look at all the great stuff that the Bay City Rollers did, that he was involved in writing, and his guitar work, and his guitar tone then, because that tone was completely different from the American guitar tone, if you go back and listen, right? But yeah, and then there's all this music that people don't know about that we played during that radio spot, and I'll put a link to that again, but I don't know how many times I have to put a link to that. How you doing, little baby? She really wants to be a part of this one. Yeah, but combining all of that, the premise was, well, Eric Faulkner is obviously one of the great Britpop songwriters and performers. And then a lot of things have happened in the last... we're going back several months now. But one of the things that happened was that Eric started a wee bit of a campaign saying, listen, if you can donate money, there'll be prizes, like maybe you get to talk to Eric. I'm going to put you down, little baby. Put you down on the floor. So donate money and what we heard at the time, if I remember correctly, was, equipment is needed for both for finishing up some older songs and also for recording some new songs, right? And so people were donating. Now, I was donating before that because I had this idea in my head that, and it was that every time Eric releases something, we should probably donate money because it'll encourage more music. So it's a greedy kind of side for me, right? And I think I mentioned all this in the previous video. But what has happened essentially with this album is that all of the stuff that was coming out on FaulknerSongs.net, the stuff that he was finessing, there was some older stuff, there was some new music, and that sort of thing. I shouldn't say all, because some of it will go, I think, on some of the more acoustic stuff will go on a future album, I think, based on the interview, the very short interview he did on TD1 Today. The expectation is that there's going to be some acoustic music coming up, which is more what we're kind of used to right now with Eric Faulkner, right? This is all electric guitar. This is the thing. And we haven't heard that. Like, he has not been putting out music with electric guitar in quite some time. So the essence of this is that the donations that people made have helped to get all of this music, some of it written in the past and then finessed and with new guitar work on it, right? He was saying today that he actually put a new neck on his Strat by the sounds of things. But you can listen to that interview and judge for yourself. Like I get in trouble all the time because I make assumptions about what someone's saying and whatever. I don't care though, because I know how to apologize when I've made a mistake. But the fact is, it is electric guitar, this one. And so I'm quite happy because, ever since I saw one video where Eric was talking about being in the studio around 1999 and all the songs that were written, and there was this list of songs, I was like, that is an incredible list of songs. And that list of songs makes Eric one of the greatest Britpop songwriters of all time. There's no denying it. And so to have him then go and pick up some older songs and to write some newer songs and to be adding more electric guitar into his stuff is an absolute gift for someone like me who is quite curious about that, right? Okay. So in the interview he gave today, and there's more interviews coming up from what I can see. Actually, let me before I move even on, let's talk about the exciting things that are coming up. We have, for example, we have already had a listening party with Eric Faulkner where the entire album was played. Okay, on Bandcamp. There is another one coming up November 2nd. Okay? And I will put information about that in the description of this video. And you do not have to be on Facebook, but you do have to have an account on Bandcamp, right? So there is more of that coming up. The other thing is on Friday, November 1st, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Dedication fans remember the Bay City Rollers. They are actually going to have Eric Faulkner on that show that night. And it is I believe, a 4-hour show. And he will be choosing some of his. He is the guest DJ, and he is going to be choosing some of his favorite songs. I guess stuff that inspired him. I haven't heard it. I don't know what's going on. But he is the guest DJ. I do know that. So that is also very exciting, right? Yes. So, moving on from that and all these exciting things that are happening right now, there's a release of the album, there's a Bandcamp stuff, and then he's going to be on the radio, and he was on the radio today, and I will try to post a link to the wee bit that he did today, which I thought was a lot of fun. But getting back into this album. So we have an electric guitar album. It's very much a Britpop oriented album. And the fact is he went and did put all this effort into this. Some of these songs are older, some of them are new, some needed some extra work on them, etc., etc., etc. He got the mastering done on this. He did not do the mastering himself. There is some stuff on here where he works with Colin Frechter, or has some tracks from Colin Frechter, who was the person that also received a gold record for the Once Upon a Star album, and I think is a very good arranger based on everything that I've heard, right? So that is fascinating, and that's on the September Rain track, right? Some of his stuff is on there. So all very exciting stuff. Okay, so let's get down though to now, I'm not going to play the entire tracks here, and I am going to be doing a full review kind of thing of the record on Dedication Fans Remember the Bay City Rollers on TD1 Radio. But I will play a bit of each track, and then I will discuss a little bit, about what's going on with the track. Now, Eric actually said today that one of his favorite tracks on the album was, let me pull this up, was the first track, Dave's Not Pleased. Now, that was dedicated to and written for Dave Innes, a percussionist. And the music on this has also been used in Check Out the Babe, which we actually had on that collection of songs that makes him one of the greatest Britpop songwriters. We had that on there, and now we have this other one that starts off with Dave's Not Pleased, which I find really fascinating and really rewarding. But let's take a listen to a portion of that song, and then we'll come back and we will talk about it. Dave's Not Pleased.
Giving him so much grief. No, Dave's not very pleased. She's giving him so much earache. She says he comes home too late. What's a boy to do? Well, what can he do? No. Dave's not very pleased. How could it be? But will she be faithful to him? Or will he be sad and bruised? No. All Dave's not amused. What's a boy to do? Oh, what can he do? What's a boy to say?
So I don't know how you would describe that music if you're not going to describe it as Britpop. And I hope this isn't taken as an insult to Eric, but it fits in so well. But people think of Britpop as being, Blur versus Oasis, and then the Verve in there. And maybe Pulp and all this other stuff, but we have to understand, like, my feeling on it is that it comes way back into 1962 and 1963, and it continues and continues and continues. And it is a great form of music, and a lot of it comes down to tone. I mentioned this earlier, the Vox amplifiers versus Fender, right? If you go back to those early Beatles recordings, it's a lot of it is the Vox amplifiers. Even I think it was Leonard Bernstein did a thing about this rock and roll music that's coming out and how parents are upset, and he talked about the noise generally coming out of these Vox amplifiers and how fantastic it was, and it was fantastic, but there's a different tone. The point is this: there's a different tone and there's a different twist on music, and all the music is generally based on R&B, kind of, coming out of the UK, starting back in 62, 63, and it moves forward. And that song that you just heard, I think, is a perfect example of that moving forward. Now, I'm not going to play any Bay City Rollers here tonight because we're talking strictly about Eric Faulkner. We're talking about the Faulkner album, but they were part of that, moving forward, that sound. And so many bands were, and even some American bands were really involved in that as well. And maybe we'll tackle that on another day. So I do have to go back to the album now, though, because the question becomes, what are we going to look at next that has this kind of Britpop kind of sound to it? And you know what? I have to go into Gossamer Dream. This one goes back so far. People waited a long time to hear this song that Eric started writing in the 90s. And if this doesn't fit into the whole Britpop thing, I don't know what does. I mean, are the Jesus and Mary chain part of Britpop or no? Right? There is goth part of Britpop or no? You know, like the Damned, right? Or Fields of Nephilim, you know, stuff like that. I think it is. And Gossamer Dream fits right into all of that stuff. And I also think, in general, it's just just a great song. Now, you're not going to get to hear all of it because I'm mean that way. But I did do a video just recently of post-punk stuff, and I did include the entire Gossamer Dream on there. And I think it fits in very well. And from what I've heard from other people, they believe it fits in very well as well. But anyway, a tremendous song. I'm throwing this one in here next. You tell me that this is not one of the experts of Britpop. I don't, I will not believe you. But you have to give some kind of weird evidence, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, let's listen to a bit of Gossamer Dream by Eric Faulkner. Okay, there's so much more to cover here, but I'm only covering so much tonight, you know. Now, I mentioned that a lot of this music came from a lot of places. Some of it was written a long time ago. Some of it is brand new. There is this brand new song that we did not hear until this album was released, and I'm going to play that next. And I also want to mention, from what I heard from Eric on the radio today, there are a few more songs still coming for this album, right, that he's working on right now. But I'm going to play this song, The Duke, actually. And this is one of the brand new songs for this album, and I really love, I think this is a great tune, and I like the guitar tone on all this, and it fits in very well with everything I think that we're doing. But like I say, this is a brand new song, came out of nowhere and surprised me. And I've been listening to this album. I probably listened to this album 10 times, but it's a bit of a highlight every time I get there. Now, this is listed as a little bit of review. So what do I want to say before we sign off when we listen to this last tune? What do I want to say? How does this album fit in? Well, I would have to say that it's never disappointing listening to this record. I call it a record because I'm old. This album worth of music, this collection. And one thing I have to say also is that everything is organized in a way that one song after the next, I'm very happy to hear. Like mixing songs is not the easiest thing to do, but it works out very, very well from beginning to end. So I love this. I think it's another example of Eric being one of the greatest Britpop songwriters. But aside from that and just listening and enjoying music, I enjoy it from beginning to end. I can't really think of any real weak spots on here. I enjoy this from beginning to end. And I'm very interested to hear what other songs could be added to this in the future. But yeah, but yes, I do have this one last song that we're going to throw in here right now called The Duke, a brand new one from Eric Faulkner. Congratulations on a tremendous collection of music, Eric. And for all of you listening, if you're not on Facebook, check in the description. I will add a bunch of information about where you'll be able to hear, where you will be able to buy his music and listen to it, and also hear him on the radio. Okay, and I will update that as time goes by. Thanks for listening. This is The Duke.
Spread one down his face, head back chin on a square. He wore his jeans way too tight and he read his kind of stare. That axe in his hand, it was strike 62. His Benz was sublime when the Duke played the blues. He raced through the night like a dark June born. Not old days and 30 had a life of his own. The drum man was on it, Mr. Bass banging it down. They were jamming with the Duke, they were jamming with the man. Set him up, let him do this thing. The goddamn Duke is playing here tonight. Set him up, hit the lights, let his guitar sing. Here comes the Duke with his strike 62. He would tap, he would slide. To have a little break, he would jazz it to fight. With his old gravel voice, he would tell it how it is. If he hit a bum note, he would grizzle, he would spit. And when the Duke hit the stage, the crowd, he would yell. In the palm of his hands, he would give them hell. He knew every word, every riff, every